Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for the bronze final for the men's matchup. We have just seen that the USA have been able to take out the bronze in Sydney. Now, one of these two sides beside me are going to be able to do the same thing. It should be an exciting game. I believe it's relatively dry out there, but as the evening progresses, we will see a little bit more dew on the surface of the Allianz Stadium field. Looking through at the French starting lineup, it will be Jonathan Legel, Jordan Sefo. Dorian moves into the starting lineup. He was coming off the bench in the last matchup, the semi-final, when the French did play up against New Zealand. Pauline Riva also in the starting side. Irigua, Fournier, and also Thomas Carroll, the last man of France, in their starting side. Looking through at Fiji, it will be Joshua Vakunarabili, Tavira Dalgunu, also Batirarenga, Jerry Tuwai, Ioani Teba, Manueli Maisamo. Now, he's a player who in the last match did struggle a little bit. He didn't quite find his feet in the game up against the South Africans. But this is the game that he needs to make sure he gets it right. And then Viwa Ndovala, one of the leading try scorers for the Fijians of the competition. Anytime he gets a chance, does make the most of it. And he'll be looking to do that in this bronze medal final. We have got Viniana in the chat going for the Fijians. I do see on the poll that 95% of votes have gone the way of Fiji to win this contest up against the French. And maybe could be the bench that are able to help them get over the line. Waisia Nathungu actually coming off the bench for this game rather than starting. Naduva, Jeremiah Matana's there as well. Filippo Bukayaro, player who helped them set up their first try up against South Africa when he did offload it to Ioani Teba, who does have that starting lineup spot. And then also Josevani Drava, I should say, the last man in the substitutes. Then for France, they've got Rebage, Pasquet, Zedar, and Steven Perez. So they've actually once again gone with quite the rotation here for the French side. Looking at the way that these two sides play in the past, normally they're pretty close in the head-to-head department. Fiji, they were able to win their first match up against France, and they did win it. Quite a bit of Fijian flair involved throughout that matchup as well. And they've actually just described them on commentary, a perfect way of describing them, really. The two loosest sides in the competition. And the reason they say that is because Fiji are so unpredictable. France are the same. They either go out there and play absolutely brilliantly, or they go out there and they do normally get beaten badly. We saw that in their quarterfinal up against New Zealand, losing at about 36 points to 5. They did lose to Fiji 19 points to 12. So that's the one that we're looking at for comparison of what could happen in this game. And also, hi there, who's the lucky team? This one French, dangerous, sneaky, but shocked with the scoreline previous match. Yeah, for them to lose by so many up against New Zealand was quite a shock for a lot of people. The same could be said about Fiji losing to South Africa by 31 points to 12. Just not the characteristic that we're used to seeing for Fiji, the way that they do normally find that ball out wide. They drop the ball a lot, though, in that game up against South Africa. They cannot afford to do that up against this French side, but we are only about, I'd say, 30 seconds away, if not maybe 10 seconds from getting underway for this contest. It will be France who are kicking off. They've actually just said that there's a little bit of rain starting to fall, so that will make these playoff games just that little bit more interesting. We've got the women's final, the next match we're covering, and then the men's final just a little bit further down the line. But it is going to be Carol who kicks off long to get this third place playoff game underway. Taken nicely by Maisamo. Goes across to Vakunarabili, who does the full pass to Ioani Teba. He's got a big smile on his face, but now he's realized that it is going to be forward. He was backing himself to win that foot race as well, which I think makes it more frustrating for Fiji. But Vakunarabili just mistimes the offload. Does travel forward by half a meter. And now France will have themselves a scrum just outside of the Fijian 22. I would have loved to see that foot race, Ioani Teba versus Thomas Carroll. We actually saw Carroll chase down, trying to remember who it was, but it was someone who should have been through 100%, and he was able to catch up with him. Go Kiwi Lads, fabulous commentary from our resident commentator, Hamish. Says, Roof, do appreciate you being here as always. Roof, and we got, like I mentioned, 2 more big finals coming just around the corner. I'm hoping my voice does last for all the matches, but I don't think I'll have much of a voice tomorrow. Now, Fournier takes that one into the 22 now for France. Carroll goes himself, fends off and gets over the try line. France already scoring the same amount of points as they had in their semi-final fixture, and we've only been going for a minute 10. A brilliant try there for the French. Crowd still seems to be a few French supporters in attendance, but Carol just backed himself. Ioane Teba misses the tackle, and he goes through, scores the try. And France, that is a little bit of something that maybe some people wouldn't have predicted, is that France were going to be able to get themselves the first blood in this matchup. Go France, there's roll off. And there's Owen, of course, roll off. I know you'll be looking forward to that final between New Zealand and South Africa. I look forward to seeing what your score prediction is, whether you go strategic and go with the opposite of what you normally do, seeing as New Zealand always win when you say they'll lose to 0, or whether you go with maybe a different tactic. See how you go. Should be a good game either way, though. That one, Steve Carell kicks it off again. In fact, Thomas Carell, sorry. Steve Carell, he's off The Office, isn't he? Is that who that is? Now, my son Moa from inside of the Fijian 22 goes out wide to Vakarabili, who will be trying to time this one nicely. He's been hit high by Dorian, so that will be the penalty. That's going a little bit too high. Now, taking the quick tap here, Fiji. They don't want to mess around. They want to get this ball flowing and try and get as many tries as possible early on. Batirarenga almost breaking through. Does get taken down on the halfway line, though. Jerry Tuwai goes short side. Another Valo. Now to my Samoa. Fiji building phases nicely here. Another offload. The Karabili slings it back across. They do sacrifice about 15 meters for the chance of gaining more. Jerry Tuwai. Short ball. Finds the gap, and here comes Nadovalo. No, in fact, it's going to be Ioane Teba. The way he ran through, I thought it was for sure the try-scoring sensation Nadovalo, but instead, it is Ioane Teba. He gets his third in the SYDNEY Sevens, and Fiji now back in the contest. Go France. There's Jake there, and come on Fiji, says Viniana, and close Fiji 21-14 for the score prediction there from Ruth, I should say, rather than youth. But the rain has fallen. Ioane Teba, the rain is not affecting him at all. Massive smile on his face when he does score the try, but he knows this game's not over yet. Just because both sides have scored early doesn't secure a win for anyone. We might even see this game go to golden point, perhaps. But the score 5-all. Neither side able to convert. Something of note to look at if this match is close near the end. They're just showing the stat. Fiji won in Pool D up against France, 19 points to 12. And I would say we're probably heading in a similar direction for scoreline-wise. Legiel goes up for it, taps it back onto the side of the French. Vavakurabili almost picked it up with one hand. Dorian tries to keep it in the field of play. It's gone out, and it should be a French line out here for Les Bleus. Nadovalo looking focused at the moment. Go Fiji, go. Says, is it Nkrio? Hopefully I said that correctly, but I may have said that slightly wrong. I do apologize if I haven't quite nailed the pronunciation there. We've seen so far Fiji for the series try off a set piece is 27 times they've been able to get that right. So they'll look to do it again. Jerry Tuwai, short ball, brilliant pass to Ioane Teba. He seems to know exactly where his number 10 is and helps sets him up for his second of the match, his fourth in Sydney. A hat-trick could be on the cards here for this man if he keeps on going the way that he is. Great work from Jerry Tuwai, just waiting patiently for that passing option. That is just the patience and the skill of a veteran to know how much time you've got on the ball, to know how to lure in the defenders so that you can then find your pass off to your teammate Ioane Teba, who's got himself 2 now. Kick's gone over, and that will make the score 12 points to 5 now in favour of the Flying Fijians. And yes, Fiji more, says Viniana. They're certainly going to need more than just the 2 tries, that is for sure. Because at this stage, I think there's a chance that both sides could hit 20-plus points with the amount of time left. We've already had 17 points between them after just under 6 minutes. Kicked off. Legiel slaps it back. Uruguay puts the ball down. Nadovalo breaks the tackle. Another try for Fiji. And it seems like no one's really keen to dive in the in-goal area just because of how dry it is. End up with grass burn just from going in. But 6 tries now for Nadovalo. I'm not sure what the leading try scorer of the competition is sitting on at the moment for the leagues. I might be able to find that information somewhere perhaps for a little bit later on. But either way, we've seen some brilliant performances from some individuals throughout the Sydney Sevens. Okay. I don't think I can find out exactly who is leading in terms of. Oh no, Stats Center. This will be it. Not for all time. Men's stats for player in the Sydney Sevens. Tell you what, we're getting there in the end. At the moment, for the leading try scorer, it is actually Marcos Maneta sitting on 6 alongside Rodrigo Isgro and Shilton van Beek. And now we have seen Nadovalo make his way up onto that same number. Nicely taken by Legel. Keeps it on the side of the French. Bulla Fiji says Octodad. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Haven't seen you in a little bit, so I hope you've been keeping well. It's going to be a little bit of a mistake from Batirenga, who looked like he was going to try and run this one towards the touchline. But that will be the end of the half. And that is going to be 17 points to 5 at halftime. The Fiji game was very physical. We got hit hard. You guys had it easy. So, yes, maybe only 20 points difference for the box, says roll off. Question roll off. You're still giving New Zealand the nil. So, is it 20-0 to the Blitz box, or is it not? I feel like at some stage you're going to break your streak and you will end up with the right result. Now, I see Sports Highlights. Welcome in. And Bulla, let's go Fiji, says Mark. And there as well. And they have started this half very well. 3 tries from 3 visits to the opposition 22. Just the 2 errors, which is a little bit less than they did have in that game up against South Africa. They were dropping the ball all over the place in that contest. But this is looking a lot better from them in this one. But yeah, 4 men all sitting on 6 tries. Now, we do know Marcos Maneta, Rodrigo Isgro, both do not have any more opportunities. Whereas Nadovalo, if he scores again in the second half, he'll move to top try scorer of the comp. Then the only real 2 men I would say that can get above him would be Rokali Soa and also Shilton van Beek. We have 6 tries for Shilton and 5 for Akuria. And also been camping, says Octodad. So hopefully you've been enjoying some nature and whatnot. That's something, for some reason, in my YouTube, in terms of what I watch on YouTube now when I have a little bit of spare time. In fact, it's while I'm editing as well. I just watch people who go out and do like a camping excursion for like 5 days, just fishing and just pretty much surviving. And I seem to have that on anytime I edit now, just because you don't have to listen to it. And instead you can just watch it. I'm looking forward to the final, New Zealand versus South Africa. And I'm with New Zealand, says Viniana. And there as well. They are just showing the women's final is not too far away. 18 minutes from that matchup, and it will be New Zealand versus France. Always entertaining. And now the second half of this contest is just around the corner. It will be Ioane Teba, a man who's already scored himself 2 tries, fishing, surfing, and parenting. Nice. Is that in the order that you'd like to do them as well, in terms of favourite to least favourite? Maybe. Did you catch anything while you were fishing, mate? I am very curious, because last time I went fishing, we caught a little tiny spotty dogfish, or in fact, it was just a dogfish, small type of shark for anyone who doesn't know. And yeah, I also got wet. I fell in the water. It's going to be a knock on from Fiji. So France will have themselves the scrum in the start of the second half. Legel had a mixed bag of a competition, but he's doing not too badly at the moment. Being able to win some kickoffs. At the moment for France, they actually have a 4% likeliness of scoring off a kick in terms of for the series try sources. It's actually relatively high up there. Oh, we see that man who's from Fiji with a whole heap of the little pins that you put on the hat. And Bulla Naka Fiji says, and it was Damanui. It's going to be now this time a knock on from France. And now Fiji have themselves the scrum. It's a little bit of a seesaw at the moment on the 22. And also 5 snapper and a big kahawai, or kawai, I should say. And lots of waves. Nice. Snapper's a fish that I'd love to be able to catch one day. I feel like I've got to go to the North Island, though. Down here, we're kind of either, your dogfish, your sharks, or you get a little bit of cod, blue cod down south near Meraki. Red cod, I think we've actually caught one of those before, just at the local beach. Or you go to the river and get a bit of trout or salmon. Natovalo, he's actually gone off the field. So I mentioned how he could be the leading try scorer of the competition. Sadly, that now will not be happening. He could be tied for it. That is if Shilton van Wyk does not score in the next game up against the Kiwis. Now, Bukayaro has this one. Carroll makes the tackle on him. Ioane Teba to my Samoa, who steps inwards. He goes through my Samoa and he gets another try for the Fijians. This is definitely a one-sided affair here for these guys. Where was my Samoa? He had 4 tries. So that will take him up to 5. So if he gets 2 more, he will also be able to get himself towards one of those big rewards. Where's he gone? My Samoa. He's disappeared. Has he moved? No, they haven't moved him up yet, I don't think. For my Samoa. That kick has gone over. And that is now going to make the score 24 points to 5. Another one-sided game against the French. This is something that they won't be happy about. Having multiple big matches against them early on. And even though I'm 11, I can get heaps of Kawai. They are big, says it was there from Tamanui. Now the Fijians, they decide to go with the short kickoff. Doesn't quite go the 10 meters. Big smile on the face of Naduva. At this stage, I think the Fijians are just out there to have fun. They've realised they're going to win. And now it's just about trying to put it together and maybe score a highlight try for the crowd to erupt to. I'm hungry for fish, says Octo Dad. I hope you're keeping up with the games, Mr. Hamish. Not to lose your voice till the final, says Viniano. I hope it stays around. It's not too bad at the moment. My throat's pretty sore from all the talking. There's going to be another Fijian scrum. No, in fact, it's going to be the quick tap taken by Fiji. And they will look to go off to this left-hand side now. Very compact defence from France, who almost for a second there, I thought they had 8 on the field. I think I made a new world record, says Tamanui. Now, it is going to be back across to the right-hand side. My Samoa, nice step. Legel takes him down low. Now Jordan Sefo. Under tackle, Jeremiah Matana. And read that Michaela Blight is out due to a hamstring injury. Yeah, it's a shame for the Kiwis, although from the way that they played up against Ireland, I don't think they'll be too worried. Of course, those are famous last words if they come back. But it's going to be weird not seeing Blight out there on the field steaming down the wing for the Kiwis. They got it in a bucket, says Tracy, from the longest kick today, says Tamanui. And he also didn't even need to watch due to this eventual outcome, says Semi Souza. Although, of course, France scoring first, I think, was a bit of a surprise for a lot of people. But since then, Fiji have just turned it up and they've managed to get themselves 4 tries back-to-back. Legel takes it. Now Rebage goes to Steven Perez. Riva, all on the outside. Jordan Sefo now trying to go through Naduva, who's taking him down now. Riva trying to bump off the Fijian defenders. Jordan Sefo has to sling it back for France. I'd love another 1 or 2 tries in this contest, you would think, just to give them that little bit more confidence heading into their next leg. 126 metres, says Tamanui. I don't think the body could physically kick it 126 minutes, to be honest, Tamanui. Even Reece Hodge, one of the longest kickers in the world, I don't think can get it 126. And what's that with Ireland, Hamish? Says Ezra. So I assume you're asking, like, either what's happened with Ireland or what's wrong with Ireland in terms of their playing. They were beaten in their game up against the Samoans, but they just didn't really get into the contest early enough. They did end up conceding 2 early tries, and then from their island, they scored 2, but then Samoa got another 2 afterwards. And Fiji all the way, says Viniana, New Zealand France woman, who thinks that and is closer one-sided. Do you think? I think it should be one-sided for New Zealand with the form. That is brilliant work from Fiji. Moving up to the 22, offload on the inside. That will be another try now for the Flying Fijians. Who was it this time? It is going to be Naduva, who does get the try. His first in Sydney in the final couple moments of the last game they're playing. And also we've got their winners, the final. The final will be taking place at 10:26 p.m. New Zealand time. The women's final will be taking place at 9:56. So in 11 minutes time. I make robots, so the robot kicked it. There's Tamanui. I see. And eventually this whole series is like a total reset for Fiji, regardless of which tournament, says Semi Souza. And yeah, I guess it's all about trying to find your combinations, isn't it? The likes of New Zealand, there was a long while where people were saying you need to get rid of the older players and give the young guys a go. And they've managed to find a nice balance of the young and the old mixed into the same side. The Blitz box at the moment, they seem pretty confident. They go with a very similar lineup each and every time that they play. France, though, when you look at them compared to Fiji here, they've rotated about 5 players, France, for this matchup. Whereas Fiji, I believe they've only changed 1 or 2. Now, knock on there from Dorian. So we'll be going back for a scrum in favour of Fiji. New Zealand or the Blitz box. I believe I went New Zealand because they lost their first game up against the Blitz box. And normally when those two sides play, it's normally a seesaw of one side wins, then the other wins. In New Zealand, I feel like they had a little bit more to learn from that game up against the Blitz box than the Blitz box did after they were able to win. Malolava. Huey Lad says, Davita, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you're enjoying this result at the moment. Fiji doing very well for themselves with 20 seconds left on the clock. They'll be looking for one more try if they can get it. And that is exactly what they are close to doing. 22 meters out. Gets back to his feet. Filippo Bukayaro. Now Patirarenga goes off short side. My Samoa, it's hit his hand. So there'll be one last play of the day, and it will be a French scrum. See what the result of this contest will be. Final will be interesting. New Zealand versus South Africa. It certainly will be. And it's less than an hour away. Guess what, Kiwi? Says Tamanui. What am I guessing? What's happened, Tamanui? You've told me that you build robots and that you made it kick at 126 meters. So I assume something big's coming here. Like you are actually a robot or something along those lines. Now, France. Drum feed. Perez. Going short side to Pauline River. Taken down. 45 meters out from his line. Fiji looking to get one last turnover to secure the deal. France, they want one more try, and it's a wide cutout pass. Jordan Sefo claims it. Now Naduva trying to take him down. He's been pushed off. Going down the short side. Jeremiah Matana offloaded now to Carol. Taking a big shot from one of the Fijians. It's going to be the advantage for the ball being not for Patirarenga. They don't want to kick this ball out, Fiji. They want to keep on entertaining their crowds. Looking for the corner. Not quite able to. Knocked back by Dorian. Now Perez has it. That will be the knock on, and that is the end of the matchup. But nonetheless, that is going to be the end of the game. 29 points to 5. The Fijians successful. They will get themselves the 3rd place finish, and France will end up with 4. Vanaka Mastamish for the commentary. Looking forward to the finals, both men and women, says Viniana. And Blitzfox are going to lead the series as they will draw with Fiji, says 123 MS. And one of made robots are called Try. Guess what one of my robots is called? I think Robot or Rob. Rob the Robot's a good name for a robot. Anyone looking to name their own robot, which of course everyone has a robot, don't they? Apparently. And not far away from Super Rugby starting. True. And the Six Nations starts up this weekend. So we've got plenty more rugby union coming up on the channel alongside Rugby 7. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's hugely appreciated, you guys, all being here. And next live stream will be starting in 6 minutes' time. And Kiwi Lads 2.0. Nice. It's probably a new and improved version, is it? Does it also do commentary? Sometimes there are overlaps and I can't do both streams. Maybe I do need a robot to be able to do some of them. Does anyone know when the Curry Series Super Rugby starting? Super Rugby starts about the 20th of February. Curry Cup, I haven't heard any news yet, but I would assume it's somewhere near the end of February as well. Somewhere around there. Yeah, as soon as we know, we will be doing some streams of the Curry Cup as well. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the next one, which is New Zealand versus France in the women's grand final. But thank you all very much, and I'll see you all for the next one.